Hi guys, hi Sixshooter, it's Mark from France for it's not the end review, it's a between review. I have driven it 10 times now, the ARRMA EXB 8S, but I drive it in 12S. I make a first run in 8S, but the car is really too heavy for that. It's 14 kilograms and it's too heavy for driving 8S. You can have enough power with 8S, it's not an issue with the power, but I don't like to have high amp draw and have hot lipos, hot motors and all this stuff. So I drive it 500 kV. My best test was with the Leopard 5813 530 kV, 24 pinion on 39 main gear. Was 70 kilometers an hour, was okay for me with speed, and we drive it in 12S about 20-25 minutes without have any heat issue, so I can drive one battery pack, 2-3 in a row without any problem. I even don't have the fan on the motor. So with the SS motor maybe I'm gonna gear it up to 13 tooth, not 24, so I get a little bit more, maybe so around 80 kilometers an hour. It's would be enough for this motor. The cool stuff with 12S also was how fast the car reacts in the air for front flips, back flips and that stuff, because I feared what can happen to the truck having the Kraton 8S V1 version back last year, and really not was happy with that. I begin it slowly. I don't was too brutal with the car. I go it a little bit more and step up to see for the limits from the chassis. We all know that a flat chassis can never can take so much heat than a modular plastic chassis or TV piece. We have here any type of reinforcement in the front, 2 bars in the rear. We have 3 reinforcement. We have a better chassis now, but we still have some flex. The rear CVT is slightly bent, just a little bit, but we see here that the chassis works, and I was not wild with the truck. I jump it high, I jump it hard, but I still was not too heavy. And his main problem is his own weight. These 4 kilograms he has to carry more than the X-Max is his own death. The tires, the new tires are heavier. The whole car is heavier because we have beefier stuff on it. We know ARRMA that not use the best alloy or the best steel parts. That's why it's so heavy. If you could consider that you get an MCD RR5, that's a 1/5 scale competition buggy who has a weight from 2 kilograms less, driving the same power and can do way more. I drive my MCD buggy like the X-Max. I jump it, front flip, back flip, freestyle it, have no issue with that. I don't bend the chassis, and he has not so much reinforcement parts, but was really better. Clearly what's nice here is the price. It's cheaper than a 1/5 scale, and I think the major issue from ARRMA was to go too big with the car. I think they really should done it a little bit, maybe not shorter, or a little bit shorter, not so bright, and to keep the weight in the 10-11 kilograms with a 49 can motor. That would be the better choice. They go big, but not put in there what we usually see in 1/5 scale. The transmission has no issue. It's really good. The new shock shafts are really amazing. The new arms can take really 10 times more than the old ones. It's really much better than before. The bumper brake at first hit here, the upper part, not a big deal. You can have it separately, and I don't change it because maybe it's gonna happen the same thing. I drive it 9 times more after that, have no more issue with that. The car is way better handling than the first version or the RTR version because of the new servo saver. So if you have the RTR, really, I can only tell you, take the EXB servo saver. It's way better. It's even not good enough, but it's way better. We still have some issue here with rust. It's since a long time that many people complain on Traxxas, all this rust, the screws are rusty, the bearing rusts fast and all that stuff, and it's a matter of fact that it's not better on these ARRMAs. It's not an issue. These cars are made for bash, and I'm not the type of guy who buy a car and go only drive when it's cool weather, not too hot, not too cold, not too much water on the field or so. I go drive anytime. And after the first run, I came home, just dry it with the air compressor and put some oil on it, but the bearing shield are rusty, the CVDs has rust on it. Even here, these parts who look really cool, shiny and good quality, even those has rust on it, but this is really not an issue. I just talk about it so you know it, but for me it's no matter. So long as the car drive, I'm happy with it. I'm super happy with the new chassis because the rear back guard here is in the chassis, so I not destroy it, because I had 2 Kraton 8s, DV1, DV2, and all on both. After the second or third run, I hang over here and rip the whole ass off the car. That's not happened here, and I was harder with the car. I broke one A-arm, but I'm not bad about it. It was a bad landing, and I tried many times to land bad. So about the ESC, I try here the FVT ESC. It's a cheap ESC, should be waterproof. I don't go in the water to check it, and seems like the old Flyer ESC has this same strange issue when you let the throttle go and you let the car roll up. He suddenly has this little stop, then he goes again. So if you take one, put a little bit drag brake on it to stop this. Take care of the fan, it's really fast stuck with mud and gravel. And I changed the fan, and you have to take care. I put the screws off to open it to can unplug the fan, but it's a no-go because it's absolutely glued together. So I was not able to open it without destroy anything, so I just cut the wire and solder another fan on it. I drive it the last battery pack without fan, and this thing not overheat. I heard people complain by explosion from the AC, and none of that people has think on put an anti-spark. So you have many ways to put an anti-spark. Back in the time we only can put some resistor on the minus wire. You have to do it yourself back in the time, and we explored that on boat and heli for the first time, because it was the first RCs who goes over 8S. You can have XT90 anti-spark plugs on your battery if you need, or like I have done here, I use XT150 plugs with anti-spark systems. You can go directly from the battery of XT150 to the AC. For the moment I use EC5 or EC5 because I have many from that connectors in my cars, and I not want to have just the battery for that one, the battery for that one. I use 1 or 2 type of battery in all my truck. That's why I do it this way, and this way I had no issue. Don't buy this ESC without a programming card, because you will have some issue. You cannot program it without the program card. I think it's a little bit dumb. So buy the programming card, because stock you has a really not good brake, and the cutoff is way too down. The power is okay, the timing is okay, so that's alright. For the moment I'm happy with. I drive it for the 10th time I drive it 8 times with that. That means I have about 20 minutes each run time. It's 1.5 hours for the moment on the CSC. I hope he will hold more and he will not burn down and damage something in my car. That's anytime the issue when we try some new stuff, is that you never know, especially when it's cheap stuff. If you buy a Hobby or a Castle ESC, you know normally nothing will happen, and if something happens, they don't let you hang over. If you buy some cheap Chinese stuff in China, you don't know what's gonna happen, and you don't know if they gonna do something for you or just tell you it's not a problem. That was a joke. I have many Chinese buddy, and we all love together. It's no issue. So if you love the way this car looks and you still not have buy it because you don't know should I or should I not, if you drive in big fields, heavy off-road, you're not a heavy freestyle jumper, you can take one. Take the XB, don't take the RTR. I really think 12S is the best, but you don't have to do it because I tell it. If you want to drive 8, take 8S. Will be enough for the most for the drivers. The other one can take 12 or more. I put this motor in because I have planned at the beginning a 60S setup. Not for drive over 100 kilometers an hour, just how I say, for faster react. Keep in mind, if you drive an 1/8 kg buggy, that type of buggy, in competition is drive with 4S for 4 kilograms. Has about 2.5 kilowatts, it means 3.2 horsepower. That's in force. If you go 6S, you have surely 1 horsepower for 1 kilogram. That means for drive this car the same way as this one, with the same capacity to go to high speed, with the fast capability to do front flips, back flips, to fast react, you have to go to 14 horsepower in this baby. That means 10 to 11 kilowatts, and you cannot reach that with so less. You can reach that with so less volts if you go only for 8S, but the amp will go to the sky. Because it's absolutely normal for everyone to drive a buggy here in 4 or even 6S, but when you tell someone you drive this baby 12 or 14S, oh, you're crazy, why you wanna go to 1200s? That's not the point. Keep that in mind. More volts, less kV. Look at industrial facts on e-bikes, on cars. Never gonna see an e-bike with only 8 or 12S. You're gonna never see a Tesla with with some few S. No, they have many volts and low kV. E-bike motors has about 80 to 100 kilovolts, so Keep that in mind. But the better way to find it out for you is to test it. So if you want a car to go hard with, to make some freestyle jump, don't go to that one. With freestyle you will destroy anything, so begin with a small and light car. It's best way to begin to do freestyle and stuff for the beginners. How many times did I see a beginner take an X-Max or Crate Nades or some big babies and then complain he has destroyed anything, and it's really costly to repair because the parts are high in price, are big parts, and if you make a fail with such a big car you destroy many things on the cars. If you take a small car, because of its less weight, you will destroy just a few parts, and it's really easy to repair and easy to do again. So if you want to do big jumps, if you like it, if you want it, begin with a small car. Take a 110 scale monster truck or truggy, then go a little bit higher to 1.8, then when you have a little bit experience, go to a bigger car. But check out how many people did you see do freestyle with stuff, and look at the car. They have all changed what they can change. They have our motors, our ESC, other chassis, M2T chassis, they have our chassis brace, top alloy chassis brace, they have our A-arms, our shocks. It's a lot of money, so think about what you will do with your car before to do it. Have I forget something? Surely, like anytime. I know the last time I have done less English and German video because the time is too short with the job and the house and all the stuff and the family. I have not plenty of time to do all I want. If I could, I don't know if I would do it, to do all the day RC and make all videos in 3 languages or more, or any time, or for any subject or anything or any question. I like to drive. That's the most I like to do. Bye guys.